Well, Paramount Pictures has announced there's going to be a new Star Trek movie. What does this mean? What do we know versus what we don't know? I'm Trader Bubba, writer producer in Hollywood, and I'm here to give you the lowdown about what's going on with the latest Star Trek movie. I'm Trader Bubba. This is Bubba Breaks Sci-Fi.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
So say we all.
Engage.
So Paramount has announced that they're going to develop a whole new Star Trek movie. But what does this mean? What do we know? What we know is this. Nothing. The only decision that's been made so far is that Paramount, the studio, is going to develop a new Star Trek movie. This is where they're going to engage in some writers, come up with a script. This could take a couple of years. Then they're going to look at directors, who they want to direct and helm the new Star Trek movie. And this is going to be all inside baseball. I wouldn't be surprised if they've engaged some writers at this point to at least come up with some pitches, not necessarily full-length scripts, but just some basic ideas of what a new Star Trek movie would even look like. They probably even have some directors in mind, and maybe, just maybe, have had some quiet, unofficial discussions. Problem is the merger. Paramount's in the process of trying to buy Warner Brothers, and it's still up in the air as far as when that's going to go through. The state of California is actually pushing back, and it has to get approved by the California DOJ, and it's going to go through. I'm sure it will, but California, the industry in general is pushing back on that, and then I have to agree, it's not a good thing. The industry is really contracting right now, and jobs are disappearing. Obviously, nobody's making anything right now. I mean, just look at the movies that are coming out this summer, and it's really tough to say what the future is going to be, especially when Paramount probably does end up taking over Warner Brothers. We're losing all our studios; they're all going away, and the fewer studios there are, the worse the content seems to be. Less competition. It drives up. It actually drives up the cost of filmmaking, which is such a double-edged sword right now. So much production is leaving the U.S. But back to Star Trek. What do we know? Nothing. What have they done? Nothing. I have a feeling that they have some pitches already lined up from some writers and some people that they've worked with before, and those writers are keeping their mouths shut. But there's also a really good chance that they just don't know anything yet. All they know is, listen, we want to reboot this franchise. We're not happy with the TV series. We're not happy that we couldn't get this other fourth J.J. Abrams movie off the ground. So we're just going to do a complete restart here, which is actually kind of a good news when you think about it. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you liked the J.J. Abrams, what do they call it? The Kelvin universe. If you're excited to see a whole new fresh take. I'm kind of hoping that they do something original and they don't just keep rebooting Captain Kirk over and over again. Let's get a whole new ship, a whole new crew. Set it in whatever time you want to, and give us good stories. But it's hard to say. So the whatever you're reading online, like this is from MovieWeb. I see you. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll read to you the naughty parts of Imzadi. So in this article, they're talking about Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves filmmakers Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly had been enlisted to develop the next installment, especially in the years since Paramount Plus had debuted. The Star Trek franchise has explored various time periods, blah, blah, blah. So does this mean that these are the next filmmakers? Honestly, probably not. They might have gotten a pitch that they liked. But if these were going to be the filmmakers and that was set in stone, Paramount would have said so. The fact that they came out and said, we're going to develop a new Star Trek movie, not that one is already in development, that's the key takeaway here. So who knows? Anything is possible. I think we're going to see 6 months to a year of just them getting pitches and figuring out what direction they want to go in from writers and directors. This could be anybody's ball game. Who's the next J.J. Abrams? That's kind of the question here. Could we see a Christopher Nolan Star Trek? You never know. Nothing's impossible. He had a deal with Warner Brothers, but if Paramount's buying Warner Brothers, we could see a Christopher Nolan Star Trek. The sky's the limit. I'm Trader Bubba, and here's a short video with no answers because we don't know, and Paramount doesn't either. Hey, this video is brought to you by TraderBubba.com. At TraderBubba.com, I got all sorts of fun new sci-fi shirts and mugs. Tea, okay, hot. Released the Riker Files. This is actually one of my favorites, huge seller. And I survived Wolf 359. All proceeds do go to charity. The charity does change once in a while, so come back and take a look at that. TraderBubba.com. Link in the description down below.